What if I told you that the same city that produced Albania's greatest writer also gave birth to its most feared dictator? Welcome to Gjirokastre, a city of stone, secrets and stories that you will not find anywhere else in the Balkans. Gjirokastre is located in the southern part of Albania, about 230 kilometers from Tirana and roughly 60 kilometers from the Greek border. If you're coming from Vlora, it's about 130 kilometers, roughly a 2-hour drive through some of the most dramatic mountain scenery in the country. And trust me, the drive alone is already worth it. It sits at the heart of the Drino Valley, surrounded by mountains on both sides, and it's perfectly positioned as a base to explore other unmissable spots nearby, like the Blue Eye Natural Spring and the coastal city of Saranda, both less than an hour away. Gjirokastër is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It has been called the City of Stone, and once you arrive, you'll understand why immediately. Every building, every street, every roof is made of the same grey limestone. It doesn't look like a city, it looks like it grew out of the mountain itself. But what makes Gjirokastër truly special is the weight of its history. This place was home to Ismail Kadare, Albania's greatest novelist and a Nobel Prize candidate, whose books brought Albanian culture to the world. And it was also the birthplace of Enver Hoxha, the communist dictator who isolated Albania from the rest of the world for nearly 50 years and filled the entire country with over 170,000 concrete bunkers. Two men, one city, completely opposite legacies. The first thing you need to do in Gjirokastër is go straight to the castle. Park near the top. Parking spots are limited and the city is steep, so if you find a spot close to the castle, do not give it up. The entry costs around 400 lek, which is about 4 euros, and the museum inside is an additional 200 lek. Now, this is not just another Balkan fortress. The Gjirokastër Castle is one of the largest castles in the entire Balkans, and it dominates the city from above in a way that is almost hard to believe until you see it in person. The foundations go back to the 12th century, though it has been expanded and rebuilt many times since. Inside, you will find an extraordinary military museum, weapons, armor, uniforms, across centuries of Albanian history. But the absolute highlight is something you will not find almost anywhere else in the world. One of only 3 surviving Italian tanks from World War II. Originally, 283 of these were commissioned by the Italian army. Today, only 3 exist on the planet. One of them is right here, sitting in an open courtyard of a medieval Albanian fortress. It's a surreal image. The views from the castle walls are staggering. A 360-degree panorama over the entire valley, the old bazaar below, and the mountains stretching in every direction. One important tip: come early, not only because of parking, but because the castle is massive and genuinely endless. There are hidden doors, stone corridors, unexpected viewpoints around every corner, so give yourself at least 2 hours up here. Once you leave the castle, make your way down into the historic quarter. Walking through Gjirokastër's old bazaar is like stepping into a different century. The cobblestone streets are steep and uneven, so wear proper shoes and not flip-flops, and the Ottoman-era architecture is remarkably well preserved. This is where you will find artisan shops selling handmade Albanian souvenirs, copper work, traditional textiles, and the iconic Albanian eagle carved in wood or stone. The old neighborhood has a raw, authentic feel that is very different from more touristy destinations. You won't find souvenir shops every 5 steps. What you will find is locals going about their day in a city that has looked more or less the same for hundreds of years. There are 2 more stops you shouldn't miss. The first is Skenduli House, a private Ottoman mansion built in 1700 that has been lived in by the same family for over 3 centuries. The entry is just 3 euros and a guide will walk you through every room, explaining the architecture, the traditions and the stories of the family across generations. It takes about 20 minutes and it is genuinely one of the most intimate, interesting historical experiences in all of Albania. The second one is the Cold War Tunnel, an underground bunker system built during the communist era that you can actually walk through. One warning, check opening times before you go, especially on Sundays, as it can be closed without notice. Now, when it comes to food, Gjirokaste will not disappoint you. The restaurants in the historic quarter are traditional, generous, and incredibly affordable. For a full lunch for two, multiple dishes, dessert, everything, expect to pay around 2,000–2,500 lek. That's roughly 20 to 25 euros total. There are so many dishes you have to try, such as stuffed kosi, bubbling hot casserole of lamb, rice, and thick yogurt, served in a traditional clay pot, warming and deeply satisfying. Qofte, the Albanian version of grilled meat rolls, simple but addictive. Salz kosi, the Albanian version of tzatziki, but made with garlic. And also this thick savory pie, layered with spinach, cheese, onion, and cornmeal. Much denser than a burek, with a completely different texture. For dessert, do not leave without trying the local version of baklava. It's slightly different from the Greek or Turkish version, and paired with a strong Albanian coffee, it is the perfect end to the meal. Many visitors that come to Gjirokaste always ask, should you sleep here? Here is an honest answer. Gjirokaste deserves a full day minimum. We came as a day trip from Vlora, and where we managed to see the main attractions, we felt we could have easily filled another half day. If you want to take it slow, in a city like this, slow is the only right pace. Staying one night is absolutely worth it. The accommodation options in the historic center are charming, often set inside restored Ottoman houses and very reasonably priced. Waking up inside the stone city before the day trippers arrive is a completely different experience. So, is Gjirokaste worth the trip? Without a question. This is one of those rare places where every single layer, the architecture, the food, the history, adds up to something you cannot find anywhere else. A city that produced both a Nobel-level writer and one of Europe's most brutal dictators, and survived communism, and that still looks today exactly the way it did 500 years ago. Give it a full day, come early, park near the castle, and let the stone city surprise you. If this guide helped you, hit subscribe and leave a comment below telling us which Albanian city you have visited, and check out the description because we have guides on Tirana, Berat and Kruja already on the channel, and more are coming very soon. And by the way, always in the description you can find several links to help you plan your trip, from travel insurance, car rental, eSIM, and even discounts on different activities you can do in Albania. So thank you for watching and see you in the next one.